Why do you cut it like that, Mom?
Because the bottom is a straight line. If you cut from the top, you tend to go off, so I had to cut that piece off because somebody started it wrong. So then I just cut it like this, and then you get better slices for the bread. Even slices. Hey guys, Barbara here, and today we're gonna be making sourdough bread from scratch. You're watching the Bear Pantry Show. Welcome to the Bear Pantry Show. If you want to learn how to cook in simple steps and have your dishes come out great the first time, then you're in the right place. Learn to make restaurant-style meals, comfort foods, and authentic Belizean dishes from basic ingredients. You guys might be wondering where the box of the bread. Wait till the end of the video. So first of all, let me show you really quickly. Sourdough bread is in this book, The Pantry Laid Bare. And I show you how to make the starter, the mother-proof, the sponge. Everything you need to know about sourdough bread is in this book, all right? So let's get right into how to make the bread. I started making sourdough starters in 2015. So these 2 jars are my first ones. So what I did, I made one and then later on I split it into 2, okay? So then I made another one in 2016. I made another one in 2017. And then I split it again because I like the taste of this starter. I use this one mostly for waffles. Then I made one in 2020, and then I made one in 2021, but from Mormon flour that a friend gave me, and now I'm out the flour, and it's very expensive to buy from Amazon, but we might have to invest in it because Joe likes this one, the one with the Mormon flour, so I split it too. So this is what we're doing today. This one here, in the big bowl, is the one with the Mormon flour, and the other one in the small bowl is the one from 2017. So the first thing I have to do is proof the sponge.
What is a sponge?
This is just something that you do to the starter, Joe. So 1 cup of flour to 1 cup of water. I'm mixing it in this measuring cup off to the side. Then I've poured all the contents of one of the jars into the bowl. And then I'm adding this batch of flour and water to it. And I'm going to cover it up loosely with some shrink wrap and leave it overnight. Normally they say you could leave it to like 3 hours. To overnight, but I always do it overnight because it's just easier for me to get started early in the morning with making the bread, right? So I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow morning. So this is the next morning, and I'm gonna make the mother first for this one.
This is complicated.
It sure is, right? But I'm gonna simplify it. So pour out 1 cup of the contents, which is the proofed sponge or the proved sponge. To this, I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of flour and 1/2 cup of filtered water. And then put it together with the 1 cup of proved sponge, stir it up, put back on the lid and put it back in the fridge, and now we can have this to use again in the future. So now let's make the bread. 2 tablespoons of granulated white sugar, and I'm going to put it into the 2 bowls. I already measured out the stuff. I already made the mother for the small one, okay? 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, so 2 and 2, and then 1 teaspoon of salt. Just that, Joel, just that. Are you watching?
Mm-hmm.
So now all we have to add to this is flour. So I have a little bit of your Mormon flour left over. The flour went bad too. It got the weevils or whatever, the weevils. So I've never measured this, really, the amount of flour, but I'm measuring for you guys today. So far we're putting 2 cups. And it just depends on how much starter or proved sponge you have in the bowl, and that's how you're gonna know how much flour you're gonna need. So add the flour a little bit at a time so you don't over flour it. I'm using this thing. Joe was asking, what's this thing that I'm using? It comes with this cupcake thing to serve the cupcake batter, to measure it out.
Okay.
And so I'm using that as my little stick thing, but you could use the handle of a wooden spoon. And you just stir this up, add the flour accordingly. You know, if it's too sticky, you're gonna know that you need more flour. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and move it around in the bowl to feel it, and I can still feel a lot of wet in the middle of it, but I'm trying to gather all the dry stuff out of the bowl before I dump it on the countertop. I just find it easier to just dump things on the countertop at some point because it gets really annoying to just do it in the bowl, right? So I just keep adding the flour. So I would suggest that you put on gloves to do this because you're not going to be able to feel it, especially if you're new to this. So I'm going to take my rings off. I always forget to take my rings off, Joe. So Joe's working camera for me right now, and I'm going to put it on this ring holder that was given to me by one of my viewers slash subscribers that had become a friend. Bella, thank you so much. I have the ring holder to put the rings on. And then go ahead and knead. And Joe is showing you guys some dynamic angles. Thank you, Joe. So see, it's still sticky, right? Now you have something that's called a bench scraper, and that bench scraper can help you lift the dough up. So I'm gonna put that in my Amazon. I might do a video for that at Amazon to show you guys the bench scraper. So then I'm gonna wash my hands and dry it off, because that's gonna make it easier for you to knead. Joe's belly is growling right now. He's hungry for this bread. Joe, this is gonna take a while. This is gonna take at least 5 hours to raise.
My stomach keep crying.
Uh-huh. So then make it into a ball and then put it back in the same bowl. I don't even clean the bowl. I don't like extra work. Some people will wash the bowl and make sure it's clean. Grease it with some extra virgin olive oil.
Why you grease it?
Because it makes it not stick to the cling wrap or whatever I'm going to cover it up with.
Okay.
So now, do you guys want to see me make the mother for the other one? Well, I'm going to show you anyways, because this one is thicker. Look, see? This is why I don't put all my starters together in one big bottle, Joe, because these starters are different. They just react different. See how thick this one is? I'm not slowing down the video. I'm not slowing down the camera, the video, anything. So pour 1 cup into the jar, and then half a cup of water and half a cup of flour. That's how you make the mother. It's half a cup and half a cup. When you're proofing the sponge, then it's 1 cup and 1 cup. You guys got it? All right. So you stir it up and put it in the jar, and we're going to go ahead and put it in the fridge. Pretty simple, huh?
Why you call it the mother? Why don't you call it the father?
Go ask the people on Little House on the Prairie wherever this bread started. All right, so now after 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours, the dough has risen, and Joe is usually the one that's watching. Your stuff is gonna boil over. Your stuff is gonna The other one didn't come up as big, and sometimes, well, that's because the bowl is bigger that I put it in, but also sometimes the thing is lazy. The starter is lazy. So now we're just re-kneading. And you know what? I was telling your mom the other day, Joe, how to make the starter, and she says, that sounds like too much work. Why don't you just send me the bread? I have a video here on the page, I believe, about how to make the starter, but I can tell you while you watch me knead off this bread. We're actually going to get a rolling pin and roll this out to make it into a rectangle, and so we could put it in the loaf pan. But how you make the starter, guys, you just start off with 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of filtered water. It has to be filtered water, and I use plastic utensils when I'm doing it, like the thing that I showed you for the cupcake thing earlier, or wooden, the handle of a wooden spoon. I don't use metal because I've tried that before, and that metal stuff makes it go bad. And people will tell you put pineapple juice and all type of foolishness. I've tried everything and it went bad. So just straight up 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of water, start, mix it up, cover it up loosely. 24 hours later, you throw away half of that and then add half a cup of flour and half a cup of water. Just like if you're making the mother. And you do it every 24 hours. If the weather is hot, it's going to be ready in 3 days. If the weather is cold like right now, it's going to take 5 to 7 days. And so then you have your starter ready. You store it in the fridge till you want to make bread like this. You guys see what I'm doing, right? Putting the loaf in the pan. The pan is greased. And then I'm going to rub some butter on top of it. Not oil this time, but butter. Why? Because I like the flavor of the butter and it's salty and stuff. This is, see the bench scraper right here? Huh?
Does the butter make it crispy or something?
No, just the flavor. So you can use this bench scraper, and I'm using all these dynamic angles. Joe is running camera for me today, and he's really doing a great job. Thank you, Joe. And so now put this one in, and don't go nowheres. Don't go to the store. Don't go to sleep. Stand by, because it's going to be ready within 45 minutes to an hour. Cover it up loosely with the shrink wrap again. And this one's ready. The lazy one is just being lazy. I want it to come up a little bit more. So the first one done. It only takes about 40 minutes to bake at 350. And Joe is always the one here. Why? I'll show you guys why. So take a look. See, this one have a big old hump. You might not want to like present that to somebody, but hey, we're going to eat it. Look at the other one. Finally baked this one, and it's perfect. See? Perfectly shaped. And this is why Joe's always waiting, because he gets the back. You are my mom. And Joe is like, he's really awful. He'll take both backs of all the breads. So this one is from the Mormon flour. Take a look at that slice though. Look at all the holes. All right, and so this one was the second one, and we put it in the freezer because you can do that. And then we made a third one when you guys weren't looking. And look what happened again. Joe, what happened to these backs?
I don't know. Somebody come in here and get rid of the 2 back.
It's me and you. We had 1 piece each for breakfast, but look, see, your next back is right here.
This is what happened to bread, folks, when we make it in here. We always have to get it. The bread, the 2 back is gone. So if you want bread from us, this is what you're going to get.
And Jada has picked up the bad habit too. And we learned that habit from my mom. My mom used to like to steal the backs.
And the day that I get sick, Barbara will make bread, and Jada went with 2 back. She tried to beat me to it.
When you were at the ER.
Yep.
All right, so you're making breakfast, and then we're going to put it together in a plate, right?
Right.
So I like to toast the bread the next day, just lightly. And then Joe is making some egg and bacon. And I think he's going to have his with a piece of avocado also.
Hey folks, if you have a recipe you want to share with us or find out about a sponsorship, check that email down below.
Remember guys, we are not buying this book. Pick up a copy of this book instead. Beans and Rice Volume 2 is the only Belizean cookbook backed by the Bear Pantry Show. Take a look at all these wonderful recipes you'll find inside the pages. Not interested in Belizean dishes? Then the Pantry Laid Bear with these better than restaurant quality comfort foods might be the perfect book for you. Only need a small batch or a meal for 2? Then pick up a copy of No More Leftovers. Each book has many choices of delicious dishes from basic ingredients.
Peace? Oh, you take it nice this time, and I give you peace. Okay.
I bet you these people didn't know this taste test was going to involve these dogs.